Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome. I am just another Pokedad, and if you know where I stole my intro from, you are my kind of geek, and I say geek lovingly. I hope everyone's staying safe out there, and as you can see, we're practicing social distancing. Yeah, I don't need to wear this, do I? Because we're not actually face-to-face. There's not going to be any breathing on each other or smooching, so I can actually take that off, can I? Yeah. But I hope when you do go out in public, which I hope you're doing so with a lot of discretion, but if you have to, please be safe, wear a mask, wear gloves, and practice social distancing. Stay 6 feet apart. Do what you can. You're not doing it just for yourself. You're doing it for people like me who have some underlying health risks and immunocompromised systems. So you're helping people like me, and in turn, I'm able to help the people that I live with who are also sensitive to all of this, and we're all in this together. We all have to practice safe practices. So please, I hope you are doing your best, and I thank you for it. Okay, so what are we doing today? Today we are going to I'm going to show you a deck that I've been pounding out different versions of, because with Rebel Clash out now, this is everything's kind of going up. VMax is plus 300 HP, so there's a lot of new decks out. You've seen them all over with different things. What I'm going to show you today is my favorite. Not my favorite deck necessarily, and certainly not the best deck by any means, but my favorite of the VMAXs is Copperajah V and VMax.
Topsy.
Look, Topsy the circus elephant.
Thomas Edison wanted to show the world that AC current was more dangerous than his own patented DC current.
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's a video. Click that. Ooh, elephant. I bet it sneezes and it's adorable. Ow! What was that? Play it again, play it again.
It was electrocuted to death on purpose in public by Thomas Edison.
What is he, a supervillain?
And so I've been trying to figure out, is there a way to make this a competitively viable deck? And I'm going to show you 3 different versions of it today that I've been working on to try, different things and some gameplay with each one. I hope you like it. I think there's some merit in it. There is. I don't know that I'm the guy to figure it out. Someone out there probably will be able to figure out an even better version of it. And so I'm going to take you in to PTCGO, and we're going to I'll show you the decks, gameplay with a couple games with each deck. I hope you have an hour to kill with me, because this is a long one, but it's three versions and a couple games with each. So we're going to jump in right now. Thank you again. Remember to stay safe, and I hope you enjoy this deck. All right, and again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you think of the decks. I would really love to hear your opinions. Thank you so much for watching, and stick with me. All right, so here we are, Copperajah V. This is Electric Love is what I call this deck. 'cause I never noticed the cover of her trunk. Anyway, Copperajah V. The basic, the V is 220 HP. Adamantium press comes in handy. It's a 3 cost attack, which is high for doing just 90 damage, but reducing 30 can come in key in certain situations early on. Rack down 4 for 180. These aren't really the attacks you're going to use, but if you have to, they're there. This is the first version of this deck that I built. So we've got 1 copy of Orangaroo with the Primate Wisdom, where you can switch a card from your hand for 1 from the top of your deck. Then we've got, not trying to add. Then we've got 2 copies of ADP, Altered Creation, extra 30 damage, and an extra prize. Maybe I'm just I don't know if I'm an ADP sucker but as you'll see from previous videos, I've been playing ADP pretty heavily, and the problem is you start taking that extra prize, man, and it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop, and I think I'm an addict. I'm an extra prize addict, and I got the fever for it, and I just need it. I need it, and I don't know what I got to get my fix. Taking an extra prize. Ultimate Ray also is a great attack to help power up your Copperajah Vs. So we're running 2 copies of ADP, 2 each of the Copperajah V and the VMax. VMax, 340 HP. What? Oh, no. Dangerous Nose, 100. If your opponent's active as a basic, 100 more. So a 200 attack against a lot of things. And like that alone is a Zacian knockout after your ADP's GX attack. So, and then Gmax Hammer is your big attack. It does cost 4 energy, 240, 270 with, which is relevant numbers. So, just an awesome. And a lot of times you are having the 2-shot, and 340 allows you to be able to take 2 shots a lot of times from some of the other VMAXs that are running around. So this, I just really like. I like it. I like it a lot. We're running 3 copies of Stellar Wish Jirachi, 1 copy of Zacian. Great secondary attacker. Also has the great ability Intrepid Sword, where you can draw 3 cards and attach any energy, metal energy to Zacian from that. We're running 2 copies of the promo, the Mind Report Mewtwo, where when you put them on your bench, you can put a supporter card on top of your deck. Has good synergy with the Orangaroo. You can put a card back, then put right on top of your deck, and then swap out for it. 3 copies of Energy Spinner. I know it's a little heavy to need 3, but you got to hit your water energy on turn 1. You have to. 3 copies of Energy Switch. And the reason for the Energy Switches is because you want to hit your ADP's GX move, your very first attack. You cannot miss the attack. If you do, you may as well pack it in half the time. If you don't get that attack off the first available time that you can attack, and if you have to, discard a metal energy, then metal saucer it to your Copperajah V or your Zacian or even a Jirachi, and then move it, energy switch it off to your ADP. That's what you got to do. So I'm running 3 copies of energy switch, 1 great catcher, so you can gust up Dedenes or whatever and take a knockout. Still handy to be able to work around a couple things with a great catcher as an item, as opposed to boss's orders, which we also run. For the metal saucer, running 2 copies of Mysterious Treasure. Helps you get your Mewtwo. It also helps you get ADP. 4 quick balls, 4 scoop up nets, which is like the MVP card in this deck for sure. Being able to scoop up Jirachi, use Jirachi again on the same turn is sometimes so cool. Sometimes so cool. 4 copies of Switch. Switching is important in this deck because you don't want to get stuck before you get energy on a Copperajah V, because he's huge. This deck is really susceptible to the what's the jigger with the melodic V deck. I haven't really run into it a lot, but it's really, I mean, because you're already at 4 retreat costs, so switches are important. And then it's running 3 copies of BD, which is what makes this version of the deck a little different than the other versions. You'll see this version is maybe not the best, but this is my first one. And I was really wanting to use BD because I just thought, what a great way to guarantee your first attack with ADP. You go second, people would expect you not to be able to make the attack, and you can. 2 copies of Boss's Orders for Gust. 4 Professor's Research. 1 copy of Big Charm. Give yourself a little extra HP. 1 copy of Vitality Band, so you can hit 280. And then 11 energy, 2 water, 9 metal. So that's this version of the deck. I'm going to show you a couple games with it. All right, here we are. First game with Electric Love, the first deck. Get a Jirachi start. Otherwise, I'm not thrilled with the opening hand, really. I mean, 2 Sycamores, 2 switches. I hate to burn too much, and that's a bad top deck right there. And I'm up against ADP with the Berserker, so I'm guessing ADPization, sort of a mirror match. So we'll see what the Stellar Wish gets me. And I don't mind that, a quick ball. I remember thinking I can grab a Dedenne, except this deck doesn't play Dedenne. So I opt, with the 2 switches in hand, I opt to do Jirachi so I can get another Stellar Wish and see what we can do. And here I'm like, scoop up, switch. I get a 3rd Stellar Wish out of this. It's such a ridiculous good card for Jirachis and other things, but really, because the Jirachi hits your hand, resets. So suddenly I have my first turn attachment, which was what I was worried I wasn't going to do. I'm a little nervous, about waiting to see Hammer or Crushing Hammers, because I know some Zacian lists are playing it. But yeah, I'm checking the Meowth there. Because it's I know the Berserker can add 20 to your metal attacks. So, I really, in this deck, I'm not too worried about the evolution of of Topsy. Topsy. Um, but the basic that you have to power up is where you get a little nervous because it's uh, fairly easily one-shotted by Zacian. Um, so yeah, I go for the scoop up net. And that's going to allow me to get the ADP into the active because I'm fairly confident I'm going to hit my energy off this to get the um, GX, the Altered Creation off. And now I feel like I'm in a good spot because in the mirror match, you either want to get your Altered Creation off first or you want to be the one taking the first knockout. And I think in this position, other than the fact that I don't have any attacker as a backup right now, and that's my worry, and no way to get a backup attacker going. So using the attack, I don't really have any good targets to put energy on, but I do have an energy switch in my hand. So provided I keep all this, I feel like I'm in a pretty decent spot. Even if I can't right now get a backup attack, my opponent is just got exactly the run on what he needs here. To Zacian, he's got the Absol out to kind of mess around with my retreating. He hits his Dedenne. So now he's just thinning, and so hitting the metal saucer. This is certainly, and then also hitting the energy switch. So if my opponent attacks into me, it means he will get the first knockout, most likely, unless I top deck a boss's orders and can knock out Dedenne or something. But so he hits into me. He's not going to get the extra prizes, but what he is going to do is he puts me on a much tougher clock because now he's got a powered up Zacian, and I can't knock out his active. I do top the boss's orders like a boss, so I at least get the first knockout, which will allow me to be even with my opponent when he knocks out my ADP, which I know he's going to do. Now, I opt not to do all 3 energy because I don't see any sense in that. But my thought is I'm going to have to, if I don't get something on the bench, I have to put a Jirachi active after he knocks me out, and I can manually retreat. So I have I have one attachment with a metal saucer with that is my thought. But my opponent's really set up. I'm in a much worse spot, but that the big charm is, saved me. I've got 300 damage. I will at least get I think I opt for Copperajah V here since it is a Copperajah V deck to get Copperajah V powered up. And that, I think, is where I plan to go with this. And I think, I opt to because I don't need the BDs anymore, although I don't know why I kept that and got rid of the. I would have been much better off, I think, keeping the metal saucer, but boss's orders, because I'm banking on after I get knocked out that that all I have to do, because my guess is he'll retreat the ADP into his Asian or switch out or somehow knock me out, and then I have to boss's orders up the Zation, because I'm not going to hit the Copperajah V. But here he's going to knock me out, I think, with knock out my Copperajah V, which actually is fine, because then I still have my ADP that can hit into his ADP. But if I remember, I had this, and I don't know what happened here. And I probably should have been paying attention just now, because now I remember I top deck and it's a BD, and I can't remember how, because I swear I put boss's orders on top, and I don't recall doing any other search or anything, so I don't remember, and I missed watching back. So someone tell me what I did wrong, because I thought I had the win there. So I can't really do much here, so I just concede the game, because I really thought I had the win with the boss's orders and top decking the BD, and I missed. So we're going to go into another game. And so I'm going to have to, at some point, replay that and look and see what I missed, because I don't recall. We're up against the lightning deck here. If I had to guess by the sleeves, nothing like telegraphing with your metal deck or your lightning deck by your choice of sleeves, right? I like this start. Jirachi is always your optimum starter. Excuse me. Dry throat, don't worry. Not that you would have to worry about me, because you can't catch COVID-19 by listening to me talk over PTCGO. So but I do have the mysterious treasure, so I can get my ADP with that, and I opt for the full art or the alternate art. I forget which that is, but and I'm thinking here, do I scoop up net the Jirachi now? And I do, because I just don't want to, it's a lightning deck, and that's a first turn knockout, theoretically, on the Jirachi if they get off to an explosive start. So I want to save my Jirachi for a later date, and I know that I have Professor's Research. They're opting to try and strand my Copperajah, which is really a valid play. He's got a 4 retreat cost, so that's huge. They hit their Thunder Mountain. I'm not sure whether this is a Picarom deck, or whether it's a new, it could be Troxicity or Boltund, who knows? But Lightning has all the tricks right now. So except for Welder and Metal Saucer and Horror Energy. All right, metal. All right, everybody has some tricks, but lightning has some good stuff, right? Um, let's. I mean, electro power is so strong, but we're up against a Pikarom deck. I feel really confident that if I can get rolling, that I should be able to just, even though they've got resistance to metal, that I'm hitting my numbers, because if I get my ADP's attack off to plus 30, then Copperajah V it can hit 270. So that's more than enough to take the knockout on the Pikarom. Not enough if they're playing Raichu, but so I'm going to put BD back up on my deck, draw 7. So I do get the Altered Creation off. And now I just feel like I'm really in a really good spot because I've got energy for the next attack, power up Copperajah V. I've got switches and everything. I mean, I feel like I'm really in a commanding spot since he missed an attachment on his first turn and he scoops. So, all right, okay, this is the second version of this deck. Some refinement after that first version, and that was the first build I did. This is much of the same, so we'll just quickly go over it with a few minor changes. Still the Oranguru, 2 copies of ADP. I'm running 1 copy of Eldegoss V for the Happy Match ability. When you play from your hand onto your bench, you can put a supporter card into your hand. Instead of 2 of the Mewtwo, we're trying this so you get 1 into your hand right away, instead of having to do the whole around with the Oranguru. I still like the Oranguru in this deck. Helps metal onto Zacian, helps in a lot of ways. I like the Oranguru, but Dedenne was certainly felt missed out of the first version of this deck. So we're running 1 copy of Dedenne for that extra draw, 2 Copperajah and 2 Copperajah VMax, 4 Jirachi, 1, which I think is 1 more than we were running. We're really committing to the Jirachi, 1 Zacian and 1 Mewtwo. 2 copies of Energy Spinner because the extra Jirachi helps you get that still 3 energy switch, 4 of the Metal Saucer, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Scoop Up Nets, 4 switches. We're running 1 copy now of Chaotic Swell because not having a counter stadium felt bad in a lot of games. No BD in this version. We're relying more heavily on the energy switch for that first attack. 2 copies of Boss's Order still, 2 copies of Marnie, little shuffle draw, little disruption. 4 copies of Professors still, 1 escape board. Found that we need, just sometimes you need just a retreat and you can't rely on Scoop Up Net. 1 copy of the Metal Frying Pan to give yourself you take 30 less damage and you have no weakness, comes in handy. But the one I really like in this deck is Metal Goggles because of the Dragapult. Sorry, old man brain. The Dragapult. You take 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks, but your opponent's attacks and abilities can't put damage counters on it. Throw this on a Jirachi on your bench in a Dragapult match, and you save yourself from that knockout. And 12 energy. We upped the count by 1. Still 2 water, 10 metal. Feels good. Watch some of the matches. This, I think, is the better of the 3 I'm going to show you. This is, I think, the best version of this deck. The next version, we're going to run these matches and then show you version number 3, and I won't spoil the surprise. All right, playing the second round of games with Electric Love. Starting the Oranguru and only a Dedenne in hand and draw. I mean, I have plenty of draw. Kind of just hate to see Dedenne and Professor's Research as your two in your starting hand, especially with just the Copperajah VMax, which we're only running 2 of. So I don't really want to get rid of it. But I also know that the Gengar attack is imminent, so I want to pare down my hand as much as I can. And I opt not to grab the water because I have nowhere to attach it right now. And I know I'm going to have to boot a lot of this deck. Or hand, not deck, but so, I'm opting, I think I have to try and get the ADP again to get I don't see a way for me to get the attack off. On this turn with it. But because I have already done my attachment for turn, so I'm not going to be able to get the GX move off. But I have limited my hand, so at least if he horror houses me, or if he doesn't horror house me, then I feel like I'm in a decent spot that, if he does horror house me, I draw 3 extra cards. Don't think he's gonna be in a spot to really knock me out even after this. So even though I can't play anything from my hand, I think with the Oranguru, I put something back on top of my deck. Because I can't play anything out. So the hope is, to draw back so that I'm not going to get knocked out here. From his, I forget the name of the attack, Sinister or something. But he's playing the T deck, and I don't know what that does. The Poltegeist or whatever. So he hits me into 200. He gets the Copperajah down. My thought is I'm going to figure out a way to get my GX move off. I've got to figure out a way. Or at the very least, I've got to get down to a low enough hand that him hitting into me still will miss the knockout. So that's what I think I'm thinking, is that I can't count on a way for me to get so I have to just get rid of a few things. And here's where I sort of make a mental error. Other than I guess I was going to play the Marnie. And I do hit the energy switch, which is huge for me to get into it. And I can actually get rid of all the items and trainers, all the trainers in my hand, and set myself up with the Marnie again. I don't want to put too many cards in my hand, so I don't grab the I keep saying Sycamore, or wanting to say Sycamore, Professors of Research. I'm not even an old school player. I started playing with Sun and Moon with my son, and because I'm just another Pokédad. So, but Sycamore was the card. But I kind of feel sneaky right now that, I have a 2-card hand and none of it is supporters. So I'm reading the Poltergeist, who also hit you for supporters. So he swapped out, doesn't hit me for anything, which I loved. I loved doing it. And I'm hesitant to play the Marnie at this point because I just keep thinking I don't want to draw into things like here. I just drew into 3 supporters I cannot play. So I've got to get rid of one of them. And I could have, I guess, in theory, played the energy switch, but I'm resigned to the fact that I am going to lose the I'm going to lose the ADP, but I'm going to knock out Gengar Mimikyu, as long as I somehow get the I can knock out if I can get the VMax in my hand, I can knock out the Gengar Mimikyu. So that's my goal. But I know I'm down to 1 in my deck because I had to discard the 1 early on. So I'm a little nervous about it. So beyond that, I just think I have to figure out how to play down cards as much as I can. So, because he's taken 3 prizes, but I just think I can figure this out, right? I can, Primate Wisdom away. I don't know why I think, I have the Sycamore, so I'm Sycamore, the Professor's Research, get rid of it all, and just, I'm going for everything to hit the Copperajah V, and I miss, but I can play down this hand so that he can't take a knockout on me. And I'll use the first attack, Adamantium Press, so I take less damage anyway. So I'm doing 120 because of ADP's attack. Figure if I have to 2-shot him, I 2-shot him, and I don't even need the VMAX at this point. Get a little worried about Nightcap, but I'm like, nope. My whole route to victory here is to just take out the Gengar Mimikyu, and I just win the game because of the extra prize. So my goal is, he's to keep my hand lean, because I figure he has to know that he has to retreat at this point, or do that, boss's orders, and hope that I get stranded. So now I know, and there I top deck the energy except I have no energy. So I have to hope for a skateboard or a switch, and I hit both of them. So that's the game right there. And I get to just go into the VMAX to really punish him down with Giga Hammer. So that's, 270 damage right there. So we're going to play again. Starting with the Orangaroo, which seems to be the way this version of the deck runs. And we're up against the Sojourner V. Got the NDD, so I think that's healing, and so I feel like this one's going to be a grindy match because Sojourner is all about, and then he's going to hit the Absol to make it hard. But I'm not. The Absol doesn't worry me so much anymore with the scoop up nets and 4 scoop up net 4 switches. I'm not relying on escape boards at all, really, to be the way to get out of the active. So I think I'm trying to think of the order I want to do things, whether I wanted to put something back and then just shuffle it into the deck, or if I want to thin a little bit and what I can get rid of. And I opt to get rid of the other quick ball, and I don't know why I made that decision. I think I was thinking like I'm going to need everything else right now more, and I should have drawn the energy before I quick balled, and I could have used both. And because I don't mind discarding metal energy quite as much because of Metal Saucer. So here I had hoped I was saving a Metal Saucer and I lose one, but now I can look into see. I don't know why I opted for the Copperajah instead of the Dene there, other than I wanted to be able to get energy, and I can get 2 onto the Copperajah right now. So, and I've then get a research for my draw for next turn. So I'm in a pretty solid spot. I don't think fighting has any real acceleration on energy right now. So so I think even though I'm going to have to take a couple swings into him, and I'm sort of a turn behind in terms of getting my, I have to do a swing into him that does no damage just to get my GX attack off. So that's a little bit worrisome. He's got the Deancey out now, so he's hitting for 20 extra. He's got the big charm, so he's really big. I don't even know his overall 350 or so. That's huge. So I'm gonna get the GX off here. I hit the VMax, which is great, and a frying pan, which reducing by 30 is nice. I put the boss's orders on because I don't want to. I want to be able to use it, and if he Marnies me, I don't want it on the bottom of my deck. So one of those things you have to be situationally aware of now all the time is what's in your hand, because if you get Marnied, it's not that it just gets shuffled in your deck, it's at the bottom of your deck. So it becomes much harder to have a way, and hitting for 220, that's a big ouch. And I think here I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going for it, allowing him to take the knockout, or I want to take the first hit. So again, I have the knockout on the Indeedee. So that's why I wanted something like, make sure I had the boss's orders So I take the knockout. So when I lose my ADP, I'm at least even in the prize trade at that point, and I should be able to be getting the first hit into his GX. So as long as he's not got an uber amount of healing, I'm in a fairly solid position. And my hope is maybe he has to drop a Dedenne or something, and I can figure out a way to boss's orders it and just win there. But he just hit straight into me there. I've got the scoop up net, so I can go up with Jirachi. I opt not to. I don't know why. Other than I think my thought was I've got the energy switch, and so if I can play down something, I can switch it off. And here I realize set up the boss's orders, get it in my hand, so that way I don't think I use it. Right, I hit into him, but if he retreats out of this, which he sort of has to do if he wants to win, because I win on the next turn if he doesn't get out of this. So my thought is he's going to have to retreat into something. And even if he Malon Lamas, I've still got enough, to knock him out. So I think his only play is to try and retreat out of this. So I have the boss's orders in hand to take the knockout if he does. So I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty solid position to win this game at this point. And there's the Ndidi. So if he benches that, I've just got game with boss's orders anyway. So, I don't see any way for him to knock me out, but he does do the Malon Lana play. But I've got the boss's orders, so I've got the knockout on a couple different spots to win the game. So it's not but he switches into that and then heals 130. But I still have, I'm not sure what that play was about other than, so well played, but we just take that victory. So I think this may be the best version of this deck that I've made. Okay, so Electric Love version 3. This one's the kind of my off the wall, throw it at, see what happens version. No ADP. What? Why would you do such a thing? Let me tell you why. We're still running Rangaroo, Eldegoss V, Dedenne 2 and 2 on the Copperajah VMax. We're running 3, back down to 3 of the Jirachi. We're running 1 Zacian V. And then this is running off of the Mewtwo and Mew GX Solgaleo engine using Perfection. So you can copy Solgaleo. The Ultra Road Solgaleo's Soul Burst GX is what you want to do to put 5 energy from your deck onto your Pokemon. On turn 1, if you can, you GX 4 onto Copperajah V, you're ready to attack. Boom. And then we are running 1 copy of the Turbo Strike Solgaleo as well, so that you can attack with Mew to get some energy back from your discard if you have to. 2 copies of Energy Spinner, 4 copies of Metal Saucer. We're running a couple Pokemon Communication, so you can get your Solgaleos. 4 copy of quick ball, 4 scoop up nets, 4 copies of switch, the one chaotic swell, the 2 boss's orders, 2 Marnies, 4 professor's research. We are running 1 big charm again in this one. Helps put Mew out of one-shot range in a lot of matches. 1 escape board, 1 metal frying pan, and the goggles, and then 12 all metal energy. And what I realized after I've played the matches already, but what I want to do is actually take the Pokecoms out to put Cherish Balls in, because then you can get your Solgalios, your Mewtwo, or your Dedenne. And I don't know why I didn't think, I don't know why I was stuck on calming stuff away, which is such a feel bad way to do this. So I'm going to do that right now, just while we're sitting here. And I'm not going to show you a game with it, but just know that I'm making that change. And if you're going to try this deck, you would be much better off doing it that way. I would certainly think. So yeah, I already feel better about it. Okay. So we're going to, oops, sorry. I'm going to go back in. Probably. All right. Okay, so we've edited. Sorry, I know there's a going on. Cherish Balls. I think that's the change that needed to be made in this deck. I don't think this is the greatest version of the deck, but it's fun. It is fun. I'm going to show you some games with it. And we are back. Here we go. We get the Mew 3 start. Which only works if you can get the Solgalios out. And I realize after the fact, obviously, as I showed, that I should have been playing Cherish Ball instead of Pokecom. But we've got the Intrepid Sword, and I hit 2 energy off it. So I feel like I've got the switch in hand. I've got a knockout on something like immediately. So even if I don't get the GX move off with Mew right away, I've got a nice knockout, quick, like a speedy knockout. And I'm playing up against an ADP deck. So I have to guess ADPization because kind of, the only other solid ADP deck running around is the Spiritomb version, which I was going to do a video on. I kid you not, like the week before it hit everywhere because of the Limitless, because Ross hit that deck. I was playing the same, not the same deck, but the same idea of ADP Spiritomb online, and I was like, I think I've got something here, but I was missing something. I don't know what it was. Ross's deck obviously hit where it needed to. So I don't have the knockout, but I have Brave Blade into the ADP. So I feel like solid position here because I can get, I don't have a way to get rid of, if I wanted to retreat the Zacian and then go into something, I don't have a way to get a Solgaleo into the discard at the moment. I have a way to get the Solgaleo, just not into the discard, because I can quick ball something away, then Pokecom to get Solgaleo, but I don't have a way to then get it into the discard. So, but then if I'm smart here, I can research for it. So I get rid of, no, that was the error that I just made. I didn't mean, I meant to hit the boss's orders, and that was simply a tapping the screen error, because I meant to get rid of the boss's orders so that then I could get the research back, get the Solgaleo into the discard pile. And that was, here I'm trying to think, like if I put it on him to retreat, then I only need to do a one retreat cost. But, I think, no, maybe I've stranded him, so I'll just go for the Intrepid Sword. But that really was an error, like a misclick on my screen, something that doesn't happen in real life. Because I was going to quick ball away the boss's orders, then Pokecom whatever to get the Solgaleo, and then get the professor's research with Eldegoss. And so I'm trying to set up the Sunsteel Strike on Mew 3 there, just in case I need to. Here I'm like, I can scoop up net everything and do this several times, right? But I don't know, kind of like, I think I'm all in my head here about what I'm doing, because I'm like now going to try and hit into a big egg or big charmed Zation. So I kind of, my head's sort of all over, and I'm like, oh no, what was I doing? Even though he's going to have the same problem with me because I've got the metal goggles on. I've been considering running Tool Scrapper in my decks. And I think that's a solid addition right now that people are kind of sleeping on. I think Tool Scrapper to get rid of Big Charms and to get rid of what's the the giant bombs that are being played in Dragapult decks. I think that alone is really worthy of playing one or two copies of Tool Scrapper, because Dragapult is going to be the hot deck. You just know it is. You know it is. So Tool Scrapper would be a big bonus in it. So he hits the hammer, because I'm the only one who ever doesn't. When I play hammers, I miss them every single time. I'm sure someone can go back through any of my videos, and if I'm playing anything with a crushing hammer, they'll be like, nope, you hit it right there. You hit it there. You hit it there. Why anybody would do that, just to prove me a dirty, filthy liar mouth, I don't know. But such is life. So I think my hope is I hit another. I hit research. So I can get rid of Solgaleo. And now I've got both Solgaleos in there, which is nice. And I'm not sure what my idea here is. Just turbo striking into him. Okay. That was, oh, that's right, because he already had damage. So, yeah, turbo striking into him. I mean, I'm behind in the prize trade pretty heavily. But I felt like if I get rid of him, you know, and he's going to have to hit all of his metal saucers, which, not impossible, and an extra 10 somehow is what I was thinking. But then I realized that's right. My math is right, because 260 is the number you can hit. So I'm like, he's got to hit the vitality band, 2 metal saucers, some sort of switch now, and a manual attachment. So I'm feeling rather okay at this point. I'm not sure whether that's naivete or overconfidence. And I don't really remember how this ended up playing out. But he hits the first metal saucer there. And I'm worried with his hand as big as it is, he can get the whole combo off here. So kind of waiting to see what route he goes. Slowly waiting to see what route he goes. Oh, he's going to Fion. And so I have to decide what he can hit into, because I can't let him take a prize, but he's opting there to switch out and give up a prize to me because I think he's confident. There's the extra 10. So I think one attachment and one metal saucer, and it's game over. So there's the attachment. And now I'm trying to decide, what do I, and I figure if I feed him that, he doesn't have the I was thinking I was too large for him to hit into, but I was not remembering the vitality band plus the 30. But he manually retreats. So now I'm feeling all right. But there's the metal saucer, so he has to have the switch in hand, because he can't manually retreat. And with that, that'll be game. I think he must have that in hand already. Because otherwise he's just, but he doesn't. And so, my route to win is to, knock out something, but I'm not. I really need needed to find the VMax. I don't think there's necessarily a route for me to win other than I think I'm thinking adamantium press adds another 30, so I'm at 280. So he can't take the knockout on me if I adamantium press. So my thought is take the knockout with an adamantium press and hope for the best. I mean, you can certainly Guzma around me, which, Guzma, not Guzma. Boss's orders, knock out anything on my bench and take, all he has to do is knock out the Eldegoss and he'll take 3 prizes. So, so I'm feeling a little less confident. But then he just hits into me. And so now I have, I have a route to win by Sunsteel striking for 230. But I also then hit the G-Max hammer and just take the victory there. But I had it either way at that point with the Sunsteel Strike. So that's game 1. It's a fun deck. Here we are into game 2. This is a grass deck. So the part I worry about up against grass decks is exactly this, the Alolan Executor who gets rid of your energy. Yes, it takes 6 what's it called? Energy. Golly, it's getting late as I record this, so I apologize. And they have a much faster energy engine than we do. Oh, I'm tired. You can hear it. Sorry about that. That's so incredibly rude. So I get rid of the VMax, and that's a little worrisome to me. I've done that a couple times, and I kind of always shudder at doing it. Now, granted, you only really need one Copperajah VMax built up, typically, but my thought too is if I could get the Solgaleo, the Ultra Road Solgaleo into the discard, I only need a 1 attachment on a Mew 3 to be able to hit 5 energy back into my into play, even after they use their GX on me and get, shuffle all the energy back to the deck. But I think I remember that route after I made all that play instead of calming for the other Solgaleo, getting it into the discard. I kind of just messed that whole thing up. And, they're getting their Rillaboom set up now, so they're going to have infinite loads of energy quickly. So here's where, I'm thinking Adamantium Press. I'll at least take less damage, and maybe somehow get lucky. If I get lucky and get my evolution, I might knock him out, but then he heals off. He had the Life Forest in hand. He's got the attachment plus another double from the Rillaboom. So he's only one turn away from wiping my board of energy. So my path here is really gotta be to get that Ultra Road Solgaleo into the discard, and I kind of kick myself for missing it. And he's got me stranded here, as much as that's a feel bad. I'm kind of like, well, and I don't know why I bothered attaching that energy, knowing that the next turn he gets to wipe my board if he wants to. But then he just attached the Rillaboom, so I think now he's just planning to take the knockout here. He does load up his Rillaboom V, and I think he's just playing the numbers game, which is smart because he's, with the Rillaboom VMax, he can knock out everything I have except for the Copperajah VMax. So I have to be pretty aware of that. But right now I'm kind of, I think just thinking if I can, hit the right things, then maybe I can. And I mean, I hit the VMAX, which is nice because now I'm not necessarily getting knocked out, even by Rillaboom VMAX. But I'm about to lose all our energy, and I have no way to restore that on the next turn, which is just kind of, although I don't, now that he used the Malalana, I don't know. He's kind of all over the place right now. Oh, he's going to take the knockout with Cramorant and get my Dedenne, I'm sure. So that just puts him in a position. There's just no way I can. I have no route at this point to catch up. Um, I'm not sure why I'm bothering with because again, I think what I have to be looking at is I should have been getting the Solgaleo by Ultra Balling. So again, I put the energy down. I don't know why I'm doing all this. This is just poor play. I had a way to come back. With getting the Solgaleo, but now it's certainly too late. Because I had everything in my hand I needed to ensure that even if he wipes out my board of energy, that that I could have got it back. But I mean, it's all kind of too late now because he wipes me with energy here. And there's just nothing I'm going to be able to do because I kind of blew it previously. And not that I think that would have helped me because I think I get knocked out by Rillaboom regardless. So I think, I'm thinking like, oh, load up, but the Zacian gets knocked out by Rillaboom. I mean, everything. There's nothing I can really be doing. I'm like, well, I can maybe switch out, hit into him, and but I miss everything anyway. I don't even know if I have any metal saucers left. But yeah, I kind of play like a donkey during a lot of this, just making kind of not egregious errors, just regular errors. But I mean, I know the deck I'm playing against, and I know he just has me beat right now, so I don't know why I keep thinking that I have a way around this, but I just don't. But now he's got it for sure, because there's the boss's orders. Just bring up Eldegoss or, So here we are. This is the last game I'm going to show you. And it is also against the Rillaboom deck. And I think I play much better in this. If I recall right, I played a much smarter game here. And so not a great starting hand, but I think I'm just like, well, I'm just going to go for it, like I'm going to be aggressive because that's about all you can do. And now I'm like, let's see. Let's see if I'm smart about this. Knowing I'm going to dedenne. No, see? Uh, again, I should have gotten the Solgaleo, but I guess I wanted to use the switches in my hand, Like, what can I do? So, but it just didn't make any sense because I should have gotten the Solgaleo into my hand to get rid of it because now I've got, my backup plan of how to get energy back if he manages to GX me. But I think my goal is figure out a way to knock out this Alolan Rowlet and Executor before they get to power up too much. There's their engine. So I'm already behind, I feel like. Somehow I thought this was a better game for me, but maybe I'm just wishful thinking. But I do get at least 3 stellar wishes if I want, which is always kind of nice. So here I think yep, grab the Copperajah V, start getting set up if I can. Use the I don't know if I should have made sure I had 2 energy in the discard. That would have been a wise thing, but I do have 2. So thankfully, so I think if I can figure a way to get out of the active, which I can't, but if I, next turn, if I can get out of the active, I can't take a knockout, but I can hit into him pretty hard. But he's going to take the first knockout. And I've got the VMax. Here's where I miss ADP because I would have the knockout if I had my my GX move already. So kind of hoping I had a boss's orders, but no. So we're just hitting in. And then worrying I'm going to lose all my energy on the next turn. But he opts to do some healing, which is, I understand that. But with only one card in hand, I'm kind of hoping that I hit a boss's orders. Boss's orders and miracle of miracle top decks right there. I mean, that's almost cruel, but every once in a while, you get to be the dog instead of the fire hydrant. So I guess I can't be too upset that I didn't go for the Solgaleo since he wasn't in the deck earlier. And I think that's just game. I don't think he has a way, 2-card hand, to really, get his way out of this. And scoops. So, yep. Did you make it through that? Thanks for watching. If you made it through all that, you are a brave soul. I hope you had fun watching Topsy. Did you say Top Chef? I love Copperajah VMax, and maybe it's because I'm a stupid Bob's Burgers fan, and Topsy is one of my favorite episodes. So who knows what the reasoning is? I could just be insane. There's a really good chance that might be the real answer. Thanks again for watching. Stay safe, and remember to always be happy, be safe, and be kind. We'll see you next time.